So yes, hello there and welcome to this week's on location episode of Theme Park Worldwide the show. This week we're going to be over in Copenhagen at Tivoli Gardens. We're also here at Bakken where we're going to be having a look around this beautiful park and what the classic amusement park has to offer. My name's Shawn Sanbrooke, this is Theme Park Worldwide the show, and that means it's time to cue those titles and ride the wild mouse. A very warm welcome to this week's episode of Theme Park Worldwide the show, here on location from Denmark. Now Copenhagen is not just home to one amusement park, it's also home to two amusement parks, Bakken, which we're here at today, and also the wonderful Tivoli Gardens, where we're going to be at later in the show. So first off, I'll talk to you a little bit about where we are today, the wonderful amusement park that is Bakken. It's actually the oldest amusement park in the world. Now this has been a leisure site for over 400 years, where a natural spring was found on the site. Ever since then, the tourists have flocked in to get their fresh water, and now to get some thrills on their latest rides. So, moving on from the spring, they then put in circus acts and more entertainment, and then started to build up the rides here at the park, including the oldest ride that is in operation, the Rusterbahn roller coaster. Now, as you know, my pronunciation is absolutely awful, so I could have said that wrong, but I believe that is Danish for roller coaster. So there we go, that is a fantastic ride. It's a classic switchback railway that's been operating here for a lot of years, but when you're actually on the ride, it's quite smooth for a wooden roller coaster. Both myself and Chris, who I'm here on the trip with, have found it to be a fantastic woody. It's definitely in my top 10. What I love about it is you get some great pockets of airtime. There's about 3 hills on the ride where you get cracking airtime. You got some great head choppers, including a tunnel with a really good scenery element that I'll put some footage on the screen for you now. And it's generally just a good ride. It has been running 2 train operation today. It's had no more than a 5-minute queue. It's got some really nice glass air gates in its station, which is fantastic, and it's got a really fast lift hill. As it goes around some of the corners around the ride, you think it's going to stall because it's going slow, and then 5 seconds later you're at the bottom of one of the double drops and you're reaching top speeds. It's a fantastic ride, and that's why I rate it so highly. It did used to have a brakeman on board in the middle of the train that was removed a few years ago when Comeback came in and put new trains on the ride, but you know, look at it go. Oh, what a beautiful woody. It's just great to see these classic rides still standing, and they've really done a great job of it. You can tell they've done a few track replacements over the years, but for an old ride, it's running really good. It doesn't feel rough at all. Really good attraction. Enough of me talking about it. Let's show you a little bit of on-ride footage and off-ride of this wonderful classic wooden coaster. What a beauty. Ride and a brilliant wooden roller coaster. So when this park wanted to move on, in 2009 they went and installed an Intamin spinning coaster known as Tornado. You can see it just behind me there, and what a fantastic roller coaster this really is. Now before we came on this trip, A, we knew it was an intamin, B, we knew it was in some sort of building, and C, we knew it was going to be quite intense. Not one of the most intense roller coasters that I've ever ridden. This lift hill is so fast, it feels like you're being launched up it before going around what's sort of like an S-bend straight down into the drop. What a fantastic element on this ride. It doesn't last long, it's around 940 feet. As it goes around the track, you must get around the whole thing in about 25 seconds. It speeds round and you get spinning quite fast. It doesn't spin probably as much as the marathon spinning roller coasters like Dragon's Fury or Sonic Spinball, but I prefer this to them, definitely. I like the seating style on this. Obviously, as you can see by the trains coming in and out of the station, you sit two to a row looking in on each other, which is quite nice. You know, so you're looking at the other people, see their reaction to the ride, they can see your reaction to the ride, and that's what makes it really good. The only thing I would change with this, if I could do, is add a little bit more theming. You can see how the track sort of comes outside of the building just here. It'd be great if inside they had some more effects, maybe some smoke effects like they do on the Wild Mouse that I'll show you a little later on in the show. But it looks fantastic off-ride. When you get on it, it also rides great. The only way I would improve it is definitely a little bit more theming. But if you want an intense intamin coaster, get out here to Bakken and give that a go. It's worth coming all this way for the ambience of this park, riding Tornado, and of course the classic wooden coaster. Two fantastic rides here at the park. But what else have they got here, you will ask? Well, let's have a little look, shall we? Fantastic shots of Tornado here at Bakken. Now, one of the new rides here at the park is the fantastic ride from Gerstlauer. As you know, I'm not normally a massive fan of Gerstlauer rides. However, this is a much better version of the Skyfly concept than what's open this year at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Obviously, everyone has different opinions on these rides. Personally, I find this one a lot more enjoyable than the one at Blackpool. The one at Blackpool, however, is easy to spin and it's also a lot more intense. This, I'd say, is more of a family version, but personally I prefer that. I think the way it spins a bit slower when you actually get it to spin, as you can see in the background, means you can appreciate the park's views and the other awesome rides to see in the area. You've also got Extreme. You've got some footage of that coming up on your screen. There we go. Extreme is another fantastic flat ride here at the park. Along with that, you've got a fantastic selection of dart rides. You've got a jungle dart ride. You've got an awesome ghost train, which has to be one of the scariest I've ever done, with all sorts of fantastic animatronics in there. You've got an octopus ride, a pirate ship, all of your classics, along with a cycle monorail with swans. Why are the swans on a cycle monorail in the air? I don't know. And along with that, you've also got a fantastic two-drop log flume. Really, really good. And this park starts to look even better as we go into the evening. Let's have a look then at one of my other favourite rides here at the park, manufactured by Mack. So as you can see, Bakken is home to a fantastic selection of rides. Another of my favourites then, the wonderful Mack Wild Mouse you see just behind me. What a fantastic ride. I do love the marathon version of this ride. However, what I do like about the Mack ride is when he shuts you into the corners, instead of actually throwing you into them too badly, the trains seem to sort of glide nicely into it, which makes you enjoy the experience a lot more and not have your sides crushed as you're going in. As you can see, that Bakken is an amazing amusement park. Some fantastic things to see. Loads of rides, over 30 rides, fantastic selection of thrill and family coasters, and fantastic operations. Can I say today, the operations have been better than I've ever seen at an amusement park. Fantastic, right up there with the likes of Europa Park and Disney, which are really up there with operations. For an amusement park, this is great to see. Really, really good. The staff have been absolutely fantastic as well. I know I've spoken to quite a lot of you, so I hope you found Theme Park Worldwide, and keep watching here on YouTube. If you want to see more from Tivoli Gardens, and of course Bakken, check out the individual vlogs. There's a Bakken vlog and a Tivoli Gardens vlog. But hang on a minute, we haven't been to Tivoli Gardens yet. So with the power of magic of Theme Park Worldwide, now let's head to the other side of Copenhagen for yet another fantastic amusement park. It's old, it's classic, and it's the second oldest amusement park in the world. It's Tivoli Gardens. And of course, a very warm welcome to Tivoli Gardens here in the centre of Copenhagen. It's about 20 minutes away then from Bakken where we were just, and you might be thinking, hang on a minute, as usual, Shawn's lost his voice. Well, that's what happens when you go on Tornado 20 times and go on that beautiful lift hill. What an amazing ride. So yes, welcome to the wonderful Tivoli Gardens. What a beautiful park this is. It's absolutely gorgeous. As you can see just behind me here, the main gardens area, this is sort of the centre of the park. It's not a huge park, it's a really nice sized park, and it opened in 1843. It's the fourth busiest amusement park in Europe, behind Disneyland Paris, Europa Park, Tallinn, and then Tivoli Gardens, with over 4 million visitors a year. That's a lot of visitors to an amusement park. Bear in mind the other majors there are all theme parks. This is an amusement park, and I can see exactly why it gets this many visitors. It's absolutely fantastic. So, 27 rides in the park, 4 roller coasters, absolutely beautiful. First off, let's have a little look at some shots of our favourite parts of the wonderful Tivoli Gardens. And as you can see there, Tivoli Gardens looking absolutely beautiful. That beautiful that Walt Disney himself visited this very park before creating Disneyland. Obviously Disneyland opened a good 30 years after the roller coasters here at this park. So as you can see just behind me, talking of the roller coasters here at Tivoli, is the beautiful roller coaster itself, Rush the Bannen, which opened in 1914, making it 101 years old this year. What an amazing coaster it is. It's still got the onboard brakeman, which is great to see. You can see some shots of the ride running around there as it goes around the mountain. Now, I also think this ride might have inspired Walt Disney with the Matterhorn at the original Disneyland in Anaheim that we will be covering and riding in 2 months' time. As you can see, it's very, very similar. It's got some really nice effects on it with the snow on the top, and at night it lights up in a beautiful purple. It looks absolutely beautiful. 3,200 riders an hour on this coaster, which is unheard of some of the more modern rides now what are built, which is great to see. 31 miles an hour on this ride, 39 foot tall, so it's not huge, but it's got a total track length of 2,360 feet. What a fantastic scenic railway it is. Enough of me talking about it, let's have another look at some shots and get on board the beautiful ride. In fact, I'm gonna have another go now. Woody! Whoa! Whoa! Rush the Bannen there, a fantastic wooden roller coaster. Now, the magic of Tivoli Gardens really does come out in the evening with the Demon just behind me. Now, as you can see, the park's B&M Flawless roller coaster is an absolutely fantastic ride. It can get through 1,200 riders an hour, and it's 92 foot tall with a 60 foot tall first drop. As you can see just behind me there, you can see the loop, one of 3 inversions on the ride, which is absolutely awesome. You've got the loop, you've got an Illman, and of course a 0G roll. A fantastic ride that opened here at Tivoli Gardens in 2004. So as you can see just behind me here, it looks absolutely beautiful in the evening, and it also rides like a fantastic, awesome coaster. Let's have a little look at some off-ride shots of the fantastic Demon here at Tivoli Gardens. Beautiful park. Look at this. It's gorgeous. Fantastic shots of the ride there. Some really good rides to be getting on here at the park. So along with your two main roller coasters, you've also got Aldine Expressan, which is a Mack powered roller coaster. You see some shots of that going around on your screen just there. And also Caravanin, which is a family junior coaster, which is just what it says on the tin really. Nice ride, loads of close bushes on that. We all like close bushes. And they get really close to you while you're going around on the ride, which is great. Along with that then, I'll go through some of the other rides here at the park. You've got a very, very well themed air race, one of the best air races I've ever, well, the best air race I've ever seen. Much better than the generic style air race what Drayton Manor use. Don't get me wrong, I love air race at Drayton Manor. I do think it was a bit more forceful than this one, but this one looks beautiful with its steampunk style. Of course, you've got the wonderful Starflyer, really, really tall ride up there. Chris, who I'm with, who's on the camera, he absolutely loved the Starflyer. Make sure you check out the vlog, which will be online this week, to see his reaction to that beautiful ride. Yes, leaving me to Vertigo. Vertigo is an amazing flat ride, what I was looking forward to coming out here and riding. Yes, it lives up to expectations, but it is very forceful. It goes from one extreme to the other really. When you're on going forwards, then you get not enough force. It's good, but not quite enough. When it's going backwards, however, it's too much that you're like, oh my God, over 5G on that ride, which is a lot. It would be nice if there was a medium sort of setting, which would be good. However, it's still a really unique flat. It's probably the most unique flat ride I've ever ridden. Is it my favourite flat ride? No, it's not, but it's definitely, oh, lighting change, we like that. Is one of the nicest things I've ridden. Going on to the lighting again, this park is absolutely beautiful. As you can see with the demonstration, there's lighting everywhere around this park. I'm now going to show you a minute's worth of footage of their nighttime water show. Now, I went in with this again, not really expecting that much. Saw it, thought it was absolutely beautiful. Yes, they could do even more if they wanted to, but for now, and for this park and how it is at the moment, I think it's absolutely beautiful. Let's have a little look then at Tivoli's illuminations. Absolutely beautiful amusement parks, Tivoli Garden, and of course earlier in the show, Bakken. Of course, we've got the two oldest amusement parks in the world in this trip. We got in the beautiful Bakken, which is the oldest, and then Tivoli Gardens, which is the second oldest. What an amazing parks. So yes, it's time for this week's Guess the Coaster. Last week, you all thought that it was the ultimate at Lightwater Valley. Well, you were all wrong. There we are on Britain's Got Talent now. But yes, it wasn't. It was actually a GCI roller coaster, and that is Woden at Europa Park. So there you go, GCI versus British Rail. Apparently they sound the same. But here we go. I don't think GCI or Europa Park would be too happy with that, especially with British Rail, never on time. So yes, moving on from there. Chris liked that one, there you go. So yeah, moving on from that to this week's Guess the Coaster. Little clue for you, it's on location from either here at Tivoli or at Bakken. Here we go, here's a little 5-second clip for you of this week's Guess the Coaster. And stop the clip. There we go. If you know what it is, all you need to do is comment below. Remember, it's just for fun, and I'll reveal what this week's Guess the Coaster was at next week's show. So it's time for Interact With Me, the part of the show where you send in photos and shout-out requests, and I'll read them out for you here on the show. It's 11:30 PM in the evening. You don't get parks staying open this late in the UK, but you do here, and you're all very lucky who's getting one this week with this beautiful shot just behind me of Tivoli Gardens. Promise, it's not a green screen, it's real. So yeah, first one then is from Mike Berry with a Nemesis on-ride photo. Thanks for that. Jenny Cousins has got a photo of her on Pirates of the Caribbean. What a fantastic ride. We all love a bit of pirates. Yo-ho, yo-ho. Pirates life for me. Caught that there. So moving on. Also good luck to Daniel Fotheringham, who's taking part in the European Choir Games. So good luck to you. Morgan Beinstein with a Rita on-ride photo. Thank you very much for that. Gotta love Rita. Helen, her and Craig on Pirates of the Caribbean as well, with the whole ride to themselves. Quite a good photo. And finally, you got Charlie with a photo with me at Chessington World of Adventures the other week. Absolutely fantastic. It was great to see you. If you've got anything, make sure you send it in to us here on the show. The best ones will get picked by TPW Admin Charlotte, and we'll read them out here for you in next week's Interact With Me. Tivoli Gardens is beautiful. Let's dance, because I'm happy. So I hope you've enjoyed this fantastic on-location episode of Theme Park Worldwide, the show. Both Bakken and Tivoli Gardens have both been absolutely beautiful amusement parks. As you've seen in the show, we've not been able to show you absolutely everything as it's only a short show. So make sure you check out the vlogs. Each one's going to be about 45 to 55 minutes of live vlog action with me and the one and only Chris Franklin. Big thank you to Chris for being the cameraman in this show as well. My voice is really going. Which is absolutely crazy because we've done over 120 rides in 2 days. It's been absolutely epic. Make sure all of you get out here to Copenhagen, come and try this beautiful park. Scandinavia has got 3 beautiful theme parks. You've got wonderful Liseberg over in Sweden, and of course you've got Bakken and Tivoli Gardens here in Copenhagen. Hope you've enjoyed it. Next week we're back at the World of Theme Parks. The following week we're on location from Efteling in the Netherlands. My name's Shawn Sanbrooke. Thanks again to Chris. That's been Bakken and Tivoli Gardens, and that means it's time to cue those credits. See you later, guys. See you next week.